Don't feed Kog'maw. Kog'maw is a long-range, high-damage champion. Kog'maw benefits strongly from attack speed and may choose items that increase his physical or magic damage or carry proc effects. If Kog'maw is giving your team issues, it's a good idea to glance at what items he's building throughout the game to have an idea how to counter his attacks. Kog'maw's passive is Icathian Surprise. When Kog'maw dies, he has 4 seconds to continue to move around before exploding on all targets around him for moderate true damage. While Kog'maw players should never intentionally die, good Kog'maw players may realize when they are certain to die, and get in a position where they can exact revenge. Kog'maw's Caustic Spittle is a relatively short-range missile that reduces the target's armor and magic resist and deals magic damage. This can be used when enemies are nearby or to assist in last-hitting minions in the early game. Caustic Spittle also passively increases Kog'maw's attack speed. Kog'maw's bio-arcane barrage temporarily gives Kog'maw a much longer attack range. Additionally, normal attacks will temporarily deal bonus damage to their target equal to a certain percentage of their health. At max rank without items, Kog'maw's attacks will deal 6% of their target's maximum health as magic damage per hit. This works well with Caustic Spittle's passive increase to attack speed, as well as any other attack speed increases from items. Even though this can potentially deal more damage to high health players, it's still very effective on low health players, particularly those who haven't built much magic resist. The other key feature to bio-arcane barrage is the additional attack range. Kog'maw has a relatively short attack range, which is a huge weakness for him. While this is active, his attacks reach very far, and he can stay safely out of reach of most champions. Countering Kog'maw in the early game comes down to waiting out his bio-arcane barrage range buff, and then taking advantage of his short attack range. Void Ooze is a puddle of puke Kog'maw leaves in a line in front of him. This deals damage when cast, and slows any enemies hit by it or attempting to cross it for 4 seconds. This can be used defensively to slow enemies chasing him, or it can be used to chase enemies, or it can be used to cut off an escape route for enemies. Kog'maw's Living Artillery is a very long-range, skill-shot nuke with an extremely short cooldown. This ability deals AoE damage in a small radius and temporarily grants vision where it is landing. Additionally, targets hit by Living Artillery are revealed for 4 seconds, making it impossible for them to hide by running in a bush or breaking line of sight. As a skill shot with travel time, Kog'maw players will need to guess where their enemy is going to move to land shots. Because many players instinctively move back when they hear the shot being fired, Kog can be very effective by simply aiming right behind where a player is standing. This allows him to hit the opponent if they move backward or don't move at all, and can have the added benefit of forcing a good opponent to move closer to them for other attacks. As with most skill shots, having boots can help a lot. If multiple enemy champions are grouped up, Kog'maw can stand back and deal massive damage with little risk. This ability makes Kog'maw excellent at chasing down fleeing opponents and killing players who would have otherwise gotten away. If you're being chased, remember that Living Artillery is a skill shot, and you should try to be unpredictable as much as possible. When going down a lane, juke left and right as much as possible, but never get yourself trapped on the edge where Kog'maw is virtually guaranteed to hit you. Kog'maw can also use this ability to poke at players under or behind towers without risk of taking tower damage himself. This can be effective in saturating an enemy team with damage before a tower push occurs. Living Artillery is mana expensive, especially if used quickly. Each cast within 6 seconds will cost him an additional 40 mana, capping at 200 mana per cast. This means Kog'maw must choose between rapidly firing at extreme mana costs or pacing himself and potentially allowing an opponent to get away. Kog'maw is a glass cannon. While his abilities and damage output are amazing at a distance, he is vulnerable to champions with strong gap closers and high burst. If he is a serious danger to your team, do your best to flank him or kill him in team fights early, and always make sure you're trying to avoid Living Artillery. Thanks for watching this Don't Feed. If you want to be alerted to every video I release, subscribe to my channel.